All right, welcome to our first ever IntyCenter Live. I will be live streaming games on this laptop and then talking to you about what's happening with them. Who knows what's going to happen? This is the wacky wild world of 1957 Fidus. So come one, come all. Don't know if anyone's going to show up because, again, it's a Saturday night and I'm the only one without any plans, but it's all good. So I have got it pulled up. I've made all the changes. I've got the game saved. And we are ready to simulate. Let's go over to scores. And we are ready for April 30th, last day of the month. We'll see who ends up ending the day and the month strong. So, again, reacting to these live, I have not simulated, let alone seen any of the scores yet. And we're going to start. So, first game of the day, Stone Temple Seattle Pilots at Amazings. Looks like Amazings takes the season or the series opener 5-1. That's going to be a pretty strong performance out of Doc Gooden. He goes 8 innings, just 2 hits allowed, 1 run. Charlie Bender, not his normal strong self. He goes 7 innings, gives up 5 runs on 6 hits. See big performers for Amazings. Joe Morgan with 2 hits and 2 ribbies. Wade Boggs also drove in a pair. It's like a Joe Morgan had a pair of solo homers in there as well. That's going to pace Amazings and get them that series opening win. Second game we'll look at is Family Madrigal against Performance Enhancers. It's got my favorite score line, 1-0. No comments from the peanut gallery about last night's Guardians game also being 1-0. It's 1957. We don't have the Guardians yet, but according to licensing rules set forth by Paul Dolan, you have to refer to them as the Guardians no matter what, even if they weren't technically called that at the time you're talking about them. Let's see what happened in this one. Walter Johnson goes 8 innings or 8 2/3 innings, scatters 7 hits, gives up no runs. Bert Dorr gets the save as Mirabelle, remember, she's got him on the roster. Guy Hecker, hard luck loss, 1 run allowed and 6 hits over the complete games in 9 innings. Let's see the 1 run that came in. See, the RBI was from newly activated John Anderson. Happened in the 7th inning. I'm going to go over to the log and see what happened in the 7th. George Brett doubled with 1 out. Billy Hamilton pinch hit and singled him over to third. And then John Anderson with the sac fly to score him. Madrigal takes it 1-0. Let's see. Wow, a bit of a high-scoring shootout by the Demon Bag standards as they win this one 5-4. Wow, 9th inning full of drama. Let's see, we start in the 8th inning. San Francisco was up 3-1. Rod Carew, Hall of Famer Rod Carew, got a leadoff homer to bring the Gales to within 3-2. But the Demon Bags score 2 in the 9th. Who else? Cleveland's own Ed Delahunty with a 2-out triple to score a pair. The Gales come back. They get a pinch hit 2-run homer from Duke Snyder. Luis Arias and Hall of Famer Rod Carew single and double with 2 outs after the Snyder homer to put the tying run on third and the winning run on second. But Barry Larkin flies out on a line drive to center, ends the game, and the Demon Bags win, by their standards, a 5-4 shootout. Wow. Was not expecting an offensive explosion when Scythia of Ostenard took on a shack of their own, but Scythia put up 14 runs on a shack of their own, seemingly taking out a month's worth of frustration. Cy Blanton looking like anything but a Cy. He lasts just 3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. Let's see what happens on the Scythia side. Homers from Al Simmons, Stan Musial, Joe DiMaggio, and Carlton Fisk. Big game from DiMaggio, who drives in 4 runs, has 2 hits. And again, a walloping 14-4 win for Scythia. Let's Play 2 takes down the Bandwagoners. It was a Greg Maddux kind of day, and Maddux goes 9 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, 105 pitches to to get in there. Frank Thomas homer in the second inning helps to pace them. They win it 5-1 over the Bandwagoners. Let's see, we need to cover one more game, and that's going to be Game of Thrones and Zodiac Guardians. Heck of a slugfest here. Game of Thrones gets off quickly. They score in the first inning. The Guardians respond with 2 in the bottom of the first. Throws adds 5 in the second, only for the Guardians to add 3 in the bottom of the second. Another run from the Guards in the third ties it at 6. The fifth and the sixth see solo runs from Throws, but 4 from the Guardians in the bottom of the sixth. Game of Thrones does get 1 in the eighth, but the Guardians, Zodiac Guardians, hold on for that 10-9 win. Leon Day gets roughed up. He goes 3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs allowed. Nolan Ryan only goes 1 inning, gives up 6 runs on 3 hits, and he walks 3. Bad look, but luckily for the Zodiac Guardians, they do get 3 1/3 of good pitching from Cookie Carrasco in relief. 1 run on 4 hits in 3 1/3 innings pitched. He'll pick up the win, and that's a heck of a slugfest victory for the Guardians. So a lot of action there on day 1 for this first ever live IntyCenter. We'll go on to the next day now. Let me hit save before I advance. Go ahead and save that game. All right, let's move on to May the 1st, 1957. Let's go ahead and auto play all games today and see what happens. All right, we're going to open this one up. Pilots and Amazings with a wonderful 10-inning affair. Amazing strike with a run in the 6th inning, a Joe Morgan solo homer. He is red hot like Mel Ott right now. But in the 9th inning, Heavy Johnson gets a sac fly to tie it up. That sends us to extra innings. Minnie Minoso, I'm assuming the younger one, as he's the only one on the big league roster, gets the walk-off single off Chris Sale. It means a Randy Johnson performance of 8 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. Goes for naught. Dizzy Dean, 10-inning complete game, 1 run allowed on 3 hits. Chef's kiss masterpiece there. Let's go over to Enhancers and Family Madrigal now, and this one is going to be all about, once again, the posthumous performance of Vita Blue. Another complete game, gives up 1 run on 9 hits, outlasting Bill Foster. Enhancers take this one 6-1. 2 RBIs each from Mike Schmidt and Gabby Hartnett lead the way. Let's see, 2 hits from Eddie Collins and a home run from Honus Wagner helps to pace the Enhancers. They get that 6-1 win over Madrigal. Every City and Let's Play 2 also went to 10 innings, just like we had with the Pilots and Amazings game. Let's see, J.R. Richard, 9 2/3 innings. Spoiler on what that means. Scatters 11 hits, only gives up 2 runs, takes the loss. Roger Clemens, 6 innings, gives up a run. Trevor Hoffman, 2 innings of scoreless relief. Lee Smith gets the win, 2 innings of scoreless relief. Let's Play 2 takes that one 2-1. Each team scored in the second. Looks like it was a Jackie Robinson RBI single for the Bandwagoners, a Buster Posey RBI single for the Let's Play Tours. And then in the bottom of the 10th, George Sizzler with a walk-off single against J.R. Richard. The Bandwagoners struggling like nothing else. They sit at 8-20 right now. How about San Francisco and Northern Shores, Gales in November? That one's going to be another win for the Demon Bags. They score 4. They win it 4-2. They do that on the strength of a 3-run 7th inning that featured a Cal Ripken 2-run single. Fernando Valenzuela goes 8 2/3. I don't know what's up with the 1-out saves in the league this year, but we're getting a lot of those, it feels like. Charlie Sweeney retires the only batter he faced to get the save. Bullet Rogan gets the complete game, but drops to 1-5. He gives up 4 runs on 7 hits and just a bit of a hard luck loss there. Game of Throws and the Zodiac Guardians. What's going to happen there? Well, what's going to happen is Madison Bumgarner got to put the bum to full effect in his name. He goes 4 2/3 innings, gives up 5 runs on 9 hits. Rube Waddell, much better than that. 2 runs allowed, only one of them earned through 8 innings. Emmanuel Clase works the ninth, doesn't get the save, but the Game of Throws do win that one 7-2. And Siffy, hey, looks like they were just waiting for the weather to work up a little bit. They use a Norm Cash. I'm sorry. They use a 2-run homer from Jose Ramirez to help them counter a 3-run homer from Norm Cash. They win this one 4-3. Hilton Smith goes the distance, complete game, gives up 9 hits, but only, I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. A Shack of Their Own won this one 4-3. This is what happens when I do IntyCenter Live. I can't go back and edit out my errors. A Shack of Their Own used a 3-run homer from Norm Cash. I read that wrong. That counters a Jose Ramirez 2-run homer. Hilton Smith goes the distance, 9 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 4 earned runs. But Harry, Dick, Breachin, whatever you want to call him, gives up just 1 run, but only lasts 5 2/3 inning. Dazzy Vance gets the 10-out save. And that's enough. A Shack of Their Own evens that series at 1 game apiece. So that's our first 2 games in the books on IntyCenter Live. We'll go from there, and let's go on to game 3 in these series. Auto playing all games today. All right. Wow. Not to be topped from their previous 2 games. Stone Temple, Seattle Pilots, and Amazings once again need extra innings. This time, it's Amazings coming back late. The Pilots got 2 in the 6th on a Heavy Johnson RBI single. Tim Lincecum takes that 2-0 lead into the 9th, but finally gives it up when Turkey Stearns hits a 2-run single off of Noah Syndergaard. Thor lets the inherited runner score, and it's 2-2. Nothing in the 10th, 11th, 12th, or 13th inning. Once again, Heavy Johnson comes to the rescue for the Stone Temple Seattle Pilots. He gets his 3rd RBI of the day. Edgar Martinez also gets an RBI. They score 2 in the 14th. Johnny Vandermeer pitches 2 innings to end the game to get the win. And they take that series finale 4-2 in 14 innings over Amazings. Madrigal and Enhancers. Wow, what a performance from Josh Johnson, just up from Cartagena. He goes 6 1/3, no runs allowed on 4 hits. Bill Bird and, believe it or not, Bob Caruthers in relief. Not sure what Matt Mirabel's thinking there when she's got, Al Orth and everybody else available, but Caruthers works out 2 scoreless innings of relief. Johan Santana takes the loss after giving up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Harry Richardson had 3 RBI in the game, and George Brett hit a homer. Sorry, Hardy Richardson. George Brett with a homer, and Madrigal take that one 5-0. Another offensive explosion coming your way, at least relatively speaking, from the Demon Bag. If this keeps up, Wang's going to ask me to do live IntyCenters every week, as it might be the only thing that gets his offense going. They get 4-hit game out of Cleveland's own Ed Delahunty. They get 3 RBI from Jeff Bagwell, 2 from Cal Ripken Jr. That combined with Jake Arrieta going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, and Zach Greinke pitching the final three to get the win, gets them the win. They take it 6-3 over the Gales. The Gales, it must be said, they are really scuffling this year, sitting at 10-20. I think we're all sitting here waiting for MN Jeddah to go out and figure out what he's got going on to find a player that none of us have ever heard of and turn his season around just like he did last year. Hey, speaking of turning around their season, the bandwagoners, they got to get something going on May the 2nd. They got something going from Denny Driscoll. He tosses a complete game shutout, giving up just 3 hits, strikes out 2, walks 1. That's gonna that's gonna win you games most of the time, and even for the bandwagoners, it gets the win here. They get 2 ribbies from Lou Gehrig, 2 ribbies from Ozzie Smith, 3 hits from Nolan Arenado. They avoid the sweep, and they take down Let's Play 2 5-0 in that series finale. Game of Throws and Zodiac Guardians. What's going on in that one? And it looks like it was all throws. Aaron Judge does get a solo home run, but that's the only run Johnny Cueto gives up. He goes the distance, gives up 5 hits, that 1 run. CC Sabathia, not nearly as good, gives up 4 runs. In his credit, only 2 of them earned over 6 innings. Arky Vaughn, the defending MVP, does hit a homer. He drives in a pair. Cristobal Torriente with 3 hits. It was a great draft pick by RX. And Throws will take that one 5-1 and take the series 2-1. Rubber match between a Shack of Their Own and Scythie of Ostenard. And this one was wild. Scythie jump out to a 1-0 lead in the third inning. A Shack of Their Own tie it up in the 5th. In the bottom of the 7th, Scythie explode for 4 runs to take the lead. Let's see what happened there. Jose Ramirez walked to open the inning. Al Simmons with a single to move Ramirez to third. Gehringer singles to score a run. Roberto Clemente doubles to score a run. Roy Campanella singles to score a run. Huey Jennings grounds out to score a run. Surprised he didn't get hit by a pitch, to be honest. And that's your 4 runs. But a Shack of Their Own comeback. They get 3 in the top of the 8th to immediately make it a 1-run game. It's a Ross Barnes walk, a Ted Williams single, a Joe Jackson single, a ground out from Pete Browning, a fly out from Tip O'Neill. Charlie Jones doubles to unload the bases and bring in 3 runs. J.J. Putz, though, comes in and retires Norm Cash to keep it a 1-run game. We'd head to the 9th, and there, a Shack of Their Own would tie it up. Mickey Cochrane with a leadoff single. Goes to second on a ground out from Suckett Narks. Ross Barnes would watch him go to third on a wild pitch and then bring him home on a sac fly, tying the game at 5. But we were not done yet. Roy Campanella reaches on an error with 2 outs. It should have ended the inning. Huey Jennings draws a walk that moves Jennings to second. DiMaggio singles, and they send Huey home. Huey from the boys is safe. The walk-off unearned run means that Scythie of Ostenard take the finale and take the series 2-1. Well, that was a fun set of games. Let's go ahead and finish up those, save the game, and we will move on to the next set of games. All right, here we go. Autoplay all games today. We've got a classic between Amazings and Every City Bandwagoners. Man, seriously, look at this recap. Take a look at this back and forth topsy-turvy win probability chart. Amazing score in the first. The Bandwagoners tie it in the second. The Bandwagoners score 3 in the fourth only for Amazings to score 4 in the 6th. But then the Bandwagoners take the lead back with a pair in the bottom of the 6th. Amazings take it back with 3 in the top of the 8th. The Bandwagoners pull to within 8-7 with a run in the bottom of the 8th. But that's where it would stay. And back and forth game, but Amazings do take it 8-7. Tom Seaver not too terrific in this one. 5 innings pitched, 12 hits allowed, 6 runs in those 5 innings. Kurt Schilling, that racist bastard, also gives up 5 runs. He lasts 5 2/3. Eric Gagne takes the loss. And hey, Edwin Diaz plays the trumpets and gets the save. The Pilots and Madrigal was a one-sided ass whooping. The Pilots put up 7 runs in the 3rd inning. Let's see what happened there. Single by Bill Dolan, walk by Roy Parnell, single from Barry Bonds, double from Heavy Johnson, single from Mookie Betts, love that last name, sac fly from Edgar, single from Willie Mays, pitching change, double from Bill Dickey, fly out from Julio, walk from Bill Dolan, single from Roy Parnell, and finally a fly out from Barry Bonds. Now, they didn't need all 7 of those runs in that inning, and they certainly didn't need the 2 that they tacked on thanks to a Bill Dickey double in the 9th. That's because Pedro was Pedro in this one. Complete game shutout. Does allow 7 hits, but he strikes out 8. Just absolute dominance. 10-0. Pilots over Madrigal. Demon Bags and Enhancers. Let's take a look at that one. And the Demon Bags are on quite a roll. That was Koufax and Radbourne. Each of them go 8 innings. Radbourne gives up 3 runs on 10 hits. Koufax, 1 run on 4 hits. Charlie Sweeney does give up a run in his inning of relief. Gets the save anyways, and it's a 3-2 win for the Demon Bags, who have now won 6 in a row. Let's see, Ken Griffey Jr. with a triple, Al Rosen with a double. And the RBIs in this one coming from Griffey, coming from Glasscock, and coming from Al Simmons. And then for the enhancers, it was Larry Walker and it was Mike Schmidt. Not enough, though. 3-2, the Demon Bags are your winners. Shack of Their Own and Let's Play 2. A Shack of Their Own, after dropping a series to Sithy, they do rebound and get the win here. Deacon Felipe, though, only goes 4 innings, gives up 2 runs on 7 hits, gets the quick hook. Jim Lamarck, I think that's the guy from Les Miserables, I'm not sure. 1 run on 2 hits and 5 innings of relief. That's enough to make Steve Carlton not feel like the Stevest of Carltons. He gives up 5 runs in 3 innings. The Shack of Their Own wins it 6-3. It was Ted Williams, 3 hits and 2 runs batted in the game. 2 of those hits were doubles. He had a heck of a game off Carlton. Let's see our last 2 games of the day. Once again, Zodiac Guardians making it happen in the opening game of series. They score 8 runs off the Gales and take this one. Ed Walsh only goes 4 2/3 innings, 5 runs on 10 hits. Cy Young goes the distance, does give up 9 hits, only gives up 3 runs. Christian Yelich had a homer, as did Hall of Famer Rod Carew. No homers for the Guardians, but a 3 RBI game for Albert Pujols, a 3 RBI game for Mark McGwire, and a 3-hit game for Pujols and Pete Rose. Again, they take it 8-3. And then in the Battle of Hawaii versus Alaska, Sithy of Ostin Ard take the opener 5-2. They get a 4-run second inning. Let me take a look at the log and see what happened there. See a 1-out single from DiMaggio, single from Campanella, single from Clemente to score a run. Walk by Jose. Ed Ryle flies out, but not deep enough to do anything. But Yui from the boys doubles, brings home a pair of runs. That's going to do it 4-0. That's enough to power Sithy, especially with Smokey Joe Wood. Complete game, gives up 2 runs on 8 hits. Hal Newhouser not quite as good, 5 runs as he goes 8 in the 3rd innings. So let's advance to the second set of games for this series. And let's go ahead, auto play all games today. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Every City bandwagoners. Maybe they're going to turn it around again. A dominant pitching performance. The year of the Toad might be back on. Toad Ramsey, 9 innings, shutout, 7 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts, no walks. That's enough to defeat Bob Feller, who goes 8 innings, gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. Bandwagoners get a home run out of Mickey Mantle. They also get ribbies from a pinch hitter and Bryce Harper. Again, Judy knows what she's doing with pinch hitters this year. Mickey Mantle, Nolan Arenado also driving runs. It's a 3-0 win for the Bandwagoners. Let's Play 2, taking out a little bit of frustration on a shack of their own. Greg Maddox, complete game. Gives up 5 runs, 4 of them earned, gives up 12 hits. But the big story here is the bats from Let's Play 2. They get 6 hits off the starter, Jesse Tannehill, 5 more hits off of Tex Usun. That's right, Usun. Big games there. 2 hits out of Ernie Banks, 3 hits and 3 ribbies from Hank Aaron. Aaron had a double and a homer. And Let's Play 2, take that one 8-5. Looks closer than it actually felt, as the Shack of Their Own scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th to make it feel competitive down the stretch. But looks like Let's Play 2 really took care of business in that one. Zodiac Guardians, their bats came alive again. They put up 12 runs, 6 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 8th. They get a homer from Mark McGwire. They get 2 doubles from Albert Pujols, another double from the man who sucks, Derek Jeter. 4 ribbies from Aaron Judge, 3 ribbies each from Mark McGwire and Sandy Alomar Jr. Justin Verlander doesn't look very good in this one. He goes 4 2/3 innings, 5 runs allowed on 6 hits. He also walked 6, and that's just a bad performance. But he gets the win thanks to that offense picking him up. Hippo Vaughn, even worse, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 6 runs allowed on 7 hits. He just gets tattooed. All right. Well, eventually we knew that the bats for the Demon Bags would let them down, and it finally happens. Their winning streak is over. It comes because Jacob deGrom outduels Satchel Paige. Paige goes 9 innings, 2 runs allowed on 7 hits, but deGrom, 7 1/3, 1 run allowed on 8 hits. Billy Wagner gets the save, retiring 4 batters that he faced, but credited for 1 2/3 innings. That must be because of a double play. Fantastic pitching performances all around. Honus Wagner got a run-scoring double in the 1st. Larry Walker doubled off Page in the 8th. That helped to lead to a run. And yeah, Jack Glasscock hit into a rally-killing double play in the bottom of the 8th off of Billy Wagner as the Demon Bags were threatening. Heck of a game, but the Demon Bags win streak is over. 2-1 win for the Enhancers. Stone Temple Seattle Pilots got another great performance out of Dave Brown. He goes 9 innings, complete game, gives up 2 runs on 3 hits, strikes out 7, walks 4. That means he outdueled Walter Johnson, who goes 8 innings, gives up 4 runs on 11 hits. Mirabel remembers that Christy Mathewson exists. He pitches an inning in relief. 3-hit game today for Roy Parnell. 2 RBIs from Mookie Betts. And the Pilots take this one 4-2. And then, well, speaking of, we talked about the Demon Bags offense failing them. You knew it at some point in time. Sithy's offense was going to fail them as well. They squander 1 run allowed on 6 hits over 8 innings from Pete Alexander as they get shut out by the combination of Jose Rijo and Emmanuel Clase. Rio goes 8 innings, nothing allowed on 6 hits. Clase does give up a hit, but nothing else in the ninth. He gets his second save of the season. The only run scored in this game, second inning, Wilson Reyes gets a double off of Alexander, and the Game of Throws takes that one 1-0. Once again, we're going to save the game. And we will go to our last set of games in this series, and we will see what happens. It's auto play all games today. And we'll start with extra innings for every city and Amazings. Amazings took the lead early with a run in the third, but the Bandwagoners tied it up in the fourth. The teams exchanged runs in the fifth. Amazings took the lead in the seventh, but the Bandwagoners tied it in the eighth. We'd stay there till the 11th inning. Juan Soto, the walk-off single off Brad Lidge. That's the difference in the game. Amos Rusi, the only pitcher used by the Bandwagoners, goes all 11 innings, gives up 3 runs on 9 hits, tosses 136 pitches, and takes the win. Lou Gehrig hit his 8th homer of the year, and Mickey Mantle hit his 7th homer of the year. And for some reason, Judy inserted Stephen Kwan as the DH. I wonder if Rodriguez got hurt. Don't know, but we'll look into that. Kind of an odd choice, but hey, it won. They got the win. Just not sure why you'd use Stephen Kwan as a substitute designated hitter in a game. Shack of their own, flex their muscle on the mound and at the plate. Lefty Grove tosses a complete game. 3-hit shutout. He strikes out 10. Max Scherzer, not so good. 4 2/3 innings, gives up 7 runs, 6 of them earned. It's a 10-0 win for a Shack of their own. 3-hit game for Mickey Cochrane, who also drove in 3. 2 hits and 2 ribbies for Ted Williams, who also scored 3 runs. We had doubles from Williams and Tulowitzki, a triple from Cy Seymour, and homers from Cochrane and Ted Williams. Again, just an absolute thumping and a 10-0 win for a Shack of their own. All right, let's move on to our third game of the day. Madrigal trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Pilots. At least I think it was supposed to be a sweep. In any case, they win this game, so they either take the rubber match or avoid the sweep. I'm too lazy to go back and look. Heck of a game pitched by Bill Foster, 7 2/3. 6 hits allowed, only 1 run given up. Ray Collins used in relief, gets the 4-out save. Charlie Bender gives up 4 runs on 8 hits in 8 innings. Buddy Rozar gets the big hit. It was a 2-run double off of Bender in the 8th. It was a 1-0 game going into the 8th inning. Madrigal put up a 4-run 8th inning and win that one 4-1. Demon Bags and Enhancers, and once again, Demon Bags offense fails to get it going. Guy Hecker, complete game, gives up 1 run on 8 hits. Jim Whitney takes the loss. He goes 8 2/3 innings, gives up 5 runs on 9 hits. He drops to 1-4 on the season. Robin Yount and Carl Yastrzemski each homered. Larry Walker had 4 hits in this one, and it's a 5-1 victory for the Performance Enhancers. Zodiac Guardians looking for the sweep of Northern Shores Gales of November. Nolan Ryan had a terrible outing his last time out. He makes up for it this time. 8 innings, 1 run allowed on 5 hits. Ray Brown, 3 runs allowed as he goes 8 innings, gives up 9 hits. Mariano Rivera works the 9th inning in order, only needs 8 pitches, gets the save. The Gales take this one 3-1. Hall of Famer Rod Carew does get a solo homer off of Ryan in the first. That would be the only run the Gales get in the entire game. It was a double from Mark McGuire in the 5th inning and a 2-run 3rd inning for the Guardians. They get RBIs from Pujols, Sosa, and McGuire. Take that one 3-1. They're a surprising 14-18 sticking around the middle of the pack. The Gales, a very disappointing and surprising 10-23 right now. Got to see what's going on there. You figure there'll be some changes made. Last game of the set, rubber match between Scythy and Game of Throws. Game of Throws get out onto it early. They score 2 in the first inning. That's a one-out triple from Archie Vaughn, followed by a triple from Yule Suttles, followed by a sac fly from Steel Arm Davis. Puts them up 2-0. Scythy get a run back in the fifth, only to have Game of Throws get that run back in the bottom of the fifth. But then in the seventh, Scythy would take charge. They get a 3-run inning. How does that happen? Well, Al Simmons with 1 out reaches on an error. Roberto Clemente singles. Jose Ramirez is retired for the 2nd out, but a 2-out single from Roy Campanella. 2-out double from Roy Campanella, followed by a 2-out single from Huey Jennings. Drives in the runs. 3 runs come in the inning. They take a 4-3 lead. Babe Ruth pitches until there's 1 out in the 9th. J.J. Putz comes in, gets the defending MVP Archie Vaughn to hit into a game-ending 4-6-3 double play. Scythy takes it 4-3, and they and Game of Throws both sit at 16-17. As we are now into a mature part of the season, about 20% of the way through, start to figure out what teams are and what they're doing. Well, that's going to wrap up this experiment of IntyCenter Live. We'll catch you next time, whether it's live or traditional on IntyCenter. We'll get everything else posted for your weekly whip around Fideuce.